Okay. So we're just gonna find a spot on our mat, find a nice seat. You can be crisscross, you can be on a block, not on a block. I like to be on a block because it gets my hips a little more elevated. Nice. Okay. So before we start breathing, because I'm one, and maybe you're not like this, but this is how I am. I'm like, whoo, it's always up in my chest at first. So I like to do just a little movement, any which way you want. You can bring the arms up, you can go a little side to side, and just kind of check in this morning. So it's more about what feels good to me. Maybe I want to bring my arms down. Is my other friend joining? No worries. Randy knows to mute herself and to keep herself. Good morning, lady. We just started. And just finding something that feels good. Sometimes I'll take my right hand to my right hip, press out my left hip, and bring it over. And I'll just find a stretch that feels amazing to me. And then I go from there. Nice. I'll bring it back to center. Let's roll our shoulders up and back. You can roll them forward too. You can go one and then the other. You could do both. And just check in, see what feels really good. I always like to check in and see what feels good first, and then go, ooh, what do I really need to work on? Now I'm gonna bring it down, and I'm just gonna go side to side with my neck. I might help it. I'm looking for that little stretch in that side of my neck without forcing it further than I need to be. And then I'm gonna come back and go to the other side. And we're just getting all those little stretches that we tend to not pay attention to and do. And you can use your hand or not. And then I'm gonna go chin to chest, have nice tall posture, take my hand to my back of my head and gently pull my chin to my chest. So I feel that stretch in my upper back. And then I'm gonna come and go all the way back. I might open my mouth, close my mouth. You get a nice big stretch. You sound like Charlie Brown's mom. Wah, wah, wah. And then I might go all the way around. A couple neck rolls, halfway, whatever feels good to you. And then I'm gonna bring it back to center. And I'm gonna put my hands in my lap. I can be palms up, palms down. I just wanna find a comfortable position where I'm not sitting like slouched, but I'm not like so upright that I can't relax and breathe. So we're just gonna find a comfortable seat, because now my breath's down here a little bit more. And you can keep your eyes open, and as you start to take a few breaths and breathe into your belly a little bit more, then you can just gently close your eyes down. So take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out to your mouth. And just start off taking a few moments to just check in with your breath. Where is it going? Is it staying way up here? Or are we allowing ourselves to take a deep breath in, exhale and bring it down into our belly. Make your belly big like a balloon. And start off just finding 5 or 6 really slow, deep inhales and exhales. Not trying to change your breath right now, just noticing kind of where it goes. I notice that my breath is usually choppier in the beginning. And towards the end, I'm usually super relaxed. Now, as you start to settle into your breath and you start to bring your breath from your chest down into your belly more, I want you to do that little scan from the crown of your head all the way down to your tip of your toes. I like to imagine that there's like a light that starts at the top, like a little dot that starts at the top of my head. And then I follow that dot all the way down my spine and then down through my legs to my toes. And I just take a moment to notice what feels really awesome and amazing in my body. And then I start thinking about what might need a little attention, a little focus, what might be bothering me today, or what might be kind of sore. Deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And just take a few moments to settle into your breath, settle into your space, and settle into your body. We're going to get our mind and our breath focused, so when we start moving into poses, we are able to connect that breath to our body. Deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And just take this time to settle into your breath and to settle out of some of those thoughts in your mind or stress. Let some of that stress go. For the next hour, you don't need to worry about any of that. All you need to worry and focus on is connecting your breath to your body and to your movement. So I'm giving you permission right now to take all that stress you have and set it over here in the corner and leave it there. Because we're going to focus on making ourselves feel amazing. And that includes our body and our mind and our soul. So as you start to settle into your space and your body, I want you to find 10 slow, deep inhales. Maybe hold your breath for 1 second at the top, and then make your exhale 1 or 2 counts longer than your inhale. So inhale through your nose, fill up your lungs, hold that breath for just a second. Then exhale, send that breath out through your mouth and let your belly get big like a balloon. Start to notice your shoulders coming down from your ears. Your sit bones will press into the block or the mat. And you're just starting to feel a little bit more comfortable in your breath, your body, your mind, and your soul. 10 breaths. And when you've got that 10th breath, you're gonna go ahead and open your eyes. And then we're gonna come off our block if we're on a block. And we're gonna start off, let's see how my knee handles this. I smacked my knee this morning, so it's super fun. We're gonna find a tabletop. So I like to stack wrist, elbow, shoulder. My knees I take out between hip and shoulder, just because I want a little bit room to move myself side to side. So if I'm stuck like this and I have my knees directly underneath me, I'll move my hands, I can't really go anywhere, right? I can't really get a stretch. But if I go a little wider, what happens is I can get that little stretch in that inner thigh. So we're just gonna start off a little stretch side to side, and then we're gonna do a little cat-cow because that's the best stretch in the world. So I'm gonna press through my hands, bend my elbows a little bit, press up like a scared cat, and then I'm gonna think about relaxing my head and neck, because so many times we stretch up and find this, and then we hold our neck like this. So I want you to think about relaxing your head and neck. And then exhale, I'm gonna come down into cow. So it's up to you how fast you wanna move. It's up to you how slow you wanna move. And you just wanna find that nice stretch. And then we're gonna come into a little thread the needle. So make sure that your knees are between hip and shoulder. You're gonna take that left hand to the outside of your mat. Now we're gonna dynamically go into this pose, so we won't be going into it just once. I'm gonna bring my hips over to the left, and I'm gonna find my stretch in my inner right thigh. And then I'm gonna bring hips over to the right as I roll my right arm up. Now I'm gonna take my right hand and I'm gonna thread it through. I'm gonna go back of hand, back of arm, back of shoulder. I'm gonna find that stretch in my T-spine and my back. And then I'm gonna inhale and bring it back up again. And I'm gonna take 2 or 3 times to find that really good position and allow my body to find the best pose I can find. Now after 2 or 3, when I get in here, then I'm gonna set the side of my head down and find this stretch. I can keep my left hand on the ground and ground into my right hand in the back of it. If I feel really open, I can bring up my left hand. I could bind it behind me and put my hands palm up against my low back, or I can reach for my right quad. I wanna think about, though, not having my left shoulder roll forward. I wanna externally rotate that and open that up and find that stretch. Now breathe. So think 2 to 3, 4 deep breaths. Sometimes in a twist, it gets a little harder because we're twisting. So we wanna get our breath up there a little bit more. It starts to go more into our chest. So really try to just control your breathing down. And then you're gonna bring yourself back up to tabletop. We're gonna cat-cow a couple times if it feels good to you. And then we're gonna switch sides. So I'm gonna take my right hand to the outside of my mat. I'm gonna bring hips over to the right, and I wanna keep my ribs in. I don't wanna overextend my back. And then I'm gonna bring hips over to the left and then roll that left arm up my body. And then I'm gonna thread it through. So back of hand, back of arm, back of shoulder, you get that nice little twist, that little nice stretch in the spine. And then I'm gonna bring it back up. And then I'm gonna thread it through. I'm gonna do this 2 or 3 times, whatever feels good to get you in the best body position. So many times, we just go and do a yoga pose and we don't think about our body position. And we just try to get there as fast as we can. Not about that today. It's about finding that awesome position and feeling good. Find 2 or 3 breaths here. And then release. Bring yourself back to center. Maybe cat-cow a couple times. So let's do this one. I like this a lot. So you're still in that same tabletop position. And I like to come forward a little bit, and you find a little stretch in the wrists. And then I might go side to side, real gentle, nothing really fast, nothing quick movements. Just finding those little wrist stretches that we don't always find. And then I'm gonna slide my hips back, bring my knees out of the way, and find a child's pose and reach my hands forward. And then I'm gonna come back to tabletop, bring my knees in, come forward, find a nice wrist stretch. So you can take this at whatever pace that you want. You can cat-cow in the middle if you want. Now, when you're in child's pose, think about not letting your ribs punch to the floor and bringing your butt back to your hips. So not like this. You want to think about keep those ribs in and send that butt back. Now we're going to come back to tabletop. I'm going to walk my hands about half a step forward. I'm going to curl my toes, and I'm going to push my hips up and back and walk out my down dog and check in. So you want to make it look like right here I have no armpits, right? Because I'm just pressing all the way down. I want to think about pressing through my hands and pressing my hips back and keeping it so it looks like I have armpits. Now I can bend a leg, move, prick my hands up, place them down, And just check in to see how this feels to you. Nice. Then we're gonna bend our knees. We're gonna look at our hands. We're gonna step, hop, jump, float, hobble, whatever we have to do. And we're gonna go fingertips to shins and we're gonna lengthen up. So our gaze is to the floor, our shoulders are back and down, our ribs are in, and we're feeling this stretch down our hamstrings. And then exhale, I'm gonna fold. Now, even if I can get to the ground, I'm a huge fan of blocks because if my hips are tight, this is probably one of the best ways to do it. So many times people will just sit here or sit here. You're not gonna get very far, but if you use blocks and you bend the leg and straighten the leg, you're gonna find a little stretch in them hips and they're gonna open up. So anytime we're in a forward fold and you want to use your blocks and bend and move, you bend and move. You rock you. And then I'm gonna bend my knees. I'm gonna ground into the floor and I'm gonna roll myself all the way to standing. Gentle little squeeze in my glute. I'm gonna bring my arms up and I'm gonna go where I want. It's like yogi free play when we stand at the top. I might go roll all the way around. I might do a little mini back bend. I might grab my arm and go side to side. You just do what works for your body. Nice. Now, exhale, we're gonna fold it back down. If you need those blocks, you use those blocks. And then legs come straight. We're gonna go fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Exhale, plant those hands, step back, hop back, jump back, high to low. Now, if you got low back issues, I like to do Sphinx pose, where I press into my forearms, and then think about squeezing your butt, keeping your ribs in, and pressing through your forearms and lengthening up. So it's less about cranking your back and finding compression in your back. It's more about length. Or you can do baby cobra, which is pressing through your hands, keeping your ribs in and up, or full on up dog. So what I'm not doing is this. I'm pressing through my hands, keeping those ribs in and bringing it up. Now we're gonna curl our toes. We're gonna bring ourselves back up to down dog. And we're gonna walk it out. Now we're doing a little hip opener today. So your goal is to get your right foot to your hands. You can do that any which way you want, right? I'm gonna walk you through another way, but you can always learn this later. It took me a while to get there. I bring my right leg forward into bear crawl, which is kind of in between my two hands. And then I lengthen my right leg high to the sky and step my hands back to try to get into the stretch of my left leg. I'm gonna come up on the tippy toe on my left. I'm gonna bring my right leg in and up to my chest to my hands. It's a little bit of physics, or you just bring this foot up and you find that. Now, I'm gonna lengthen back my back leg and I'm gonna come down on that back knee. You're gonna see me do this today because I whacked my knee this morning and it's a nice big bruise. Okay, so what I want you to do is look at your front right leg. I don't want it way back here. I want to have a very slight angle on my front right shin. Because what I do, because I'm really short, so I fall into my joints if I do this, so I take blocks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this position where I look more like this, right? And I'm tall and I'm not down here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press and, my bad. I'm going to press my right knee and line up my right knee with my left or my right heel. So I almost make this straight up and down. When I do that, I get a deep stretch in my left hip flexor. So I'm gonna find this position. I might stay, we're gonna stay here for just a few minutes, or not a few minutes, a few seconds. And we're just gonna breathe. So your stretch should be in that left hip flexor, not in the low back. If it's in the low back, we're too far here. So think about pressing and lifting up. I have this glute squeezed a little bit. I'm lining that right knee up with the left or right heel. Whoo! Ooh, that's tight. Now, on my next exhale, I'm gonna hinge my hip back On my heel on my right is going to stay where it's at, but I'm gonna lift my toes up. And I'm gonna find that stretch. So I'm not moving my heel at all. That heel stays exactly where it's at. And we're gonna find a stretch here. Whoo, I am tight. Hopefully y'all are with me. Now, this is where we take it at our own pace. So I'm gonna inhale, I'm gonna bring it forward. I'm gonna line this stretch up, find this stretch for me. And this might be your jam right here. You might be like, whoo, I need to come here. Just think about connecting your breath to your body, finding those positions. So you're going left hip flexor and right hamstring. So we're getting 2 bangs for a buck right here. And then just mindfully connect your breath to your movement. So you might be really sore on that right hamstring, and this might be your jam right now, or you might be here. So you're just moving to what feels good to you. Okay, we're gonna come back forward, and this one I'm gonna show you from both sides. I'm gonna walk my right foot to the outer edge of my mat. So I'm gonna make sure I'm not gonna ride on the outer arch of my right foot, and I'm not gonna push my knee out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure, because what I'll usually do is bring up this leg, shimmy that toe back so I have a nice good position. So this looks like a knee down plank. And what I'm gonna do is take, and I'll show you this from the front too, I'm gonna take my right arm at a 90 degree, and I'm gonna put my elbow in the inner part of my knee. I'm gonna take a deep breath, and on my exhale, I'm gonna lower. I may not get to the floor, totally fine. Inhale, I'm gonna come back up. Exhale, and I'm gonna lower. And this is a mobility drill. The more that you do this, and I'll show you from this way too. So if we were here, and I walk my foot to my edge of my mat, let me back up so you can see my foot. There you go. So if I'm here and my foot's to the edge of the mat, I'm gonna have my elbow here. I'm gonna take a deep breath. Exhale. Inhale, rise back up. What I'm not doing is as I exhale, pressing that out. I'm keeping it here. And if you don't get to the floor, that's totally fine. My right side doesn't always get to the floor. My left side does. A lot faster than my right side. But make sure that you're not a box. So if you look like this and you're really close, you want to think about lengthening that leg out and finding this. Now, if you are like, whoo, I've already got my elbow to the floor, right? And you're down here, then I want you to walk your foot about a step or 2 in, and then you can ride the outer arch of that foot. So some people can hang here, some people can't. Let me show you modifications because I love modifications. So if I'm here and I'm here. So a lot of times on that left hip, we feel that in our low back, right? I think I got a new tagline because I said this in my yoga class the other day. I said, take that block and shove it right back in here. So it helps to hold up. I'll show you this way. It helps to hold up here. So now I'm not falling into my lumbar. So you could be here. You could be 2 blocks, 1 block, no blocks. You could be here. I just want you to find the edge of that stretch in your hip. And then think about your face. Relax your face. And breathe. I feel this stretch in my hip, both my hips. And I want you to find 5 more breaths. And you might still be on the elbow to the floor. It's kind of one of those things where you just kind of gauge where you feel today. And if you're like, this is not where I want to be right now, my body is not allowing me to get here yet, then you just go back to where we were. Now I'm gonna bring myself back up. Ooh, I'm gonna hinge back that hip. I'm gonna find a stretch in that hamstring. Now, that might feel a little bit more open. I'm gonna bring that leg back and I'm gonna hip circle. And I might hip circle both sides. Now, I'm gonna come to the side of my mat. You may come to the side of your mat too. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our leg up at about 45-degree angle, okay? And then I'm gonna look down at my left leg. If my knee is directly underneath me, I'm gonna move it out between hip and shoulder, okay? I'm gonna show you this from the side. Okay, stay off of it. Okay. I'm back, guys. I don't know what happened. I'm here. Are you here? Yay. Okay, you're here. Okay, good. I don't know what happened. My internet just said, psh, screw you. So we're back. We're back. Where were we? I'll just pick right up where we were. So where were we? 45 degrees with the foot. Knee is not directly underneath you, and your toes are up here. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to find a stretch and keeping my ribs in my inner right thigh. Inner right thigh. And then come back up. So because when you come back, you're like, whoo, that's tight, right? Think about how your face looks. If your face is like, oh my gosh, I want you to relax your face and I want you to think about inhale, come up. Exhale, bring it back. Find the edge of that stretch. And then bring it back up. So each time we're able to get a little further and a little further, hopefully, but you're not like going, oh my gosh, Holly, I can't move and that hurts. So just think about finding the edge of your stretch. Nice. Now, I'm gonna bring my hip back. I'm gonna hip circle. I might hip circle both sides. And then I'm gonna curl my toes. I'm gonna bring my hips up and back. And find a down dog. Now bend your knees, look at your hands, step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, we're gonna lengthen up. Exhale, and we're gonna fold. Now I want you to check in from your right side to your left. How does that feel? Make sure we're recording, we are. You feel like on your right side, you can be like, whoa, that's way further than I can get than my left, right? That's the magic of the hips. So exhale, bring it all the way up. So round into your feet, roll yourself all the way to standing. Gentle little squeeze in that glute. Go wherever you want to go. Yay, I'm glad it reconnected. Okay, so this leg should feel a lot more open than this hip. This hip's probably like, what is going on? Right? So now we're gonna make a match because we wanna feel good in both sides, right? So I'm gonna come tap on my mat. I'm gonna exhale, I'm gonna fold it down. I can keep bending and moving as much as I want. You do you. So if it feels good to move, move. Now legs come straight, fingertips to shins. We're gonna lengthen up. Gazes to the floor. You're finding a really long neck from the crown of your head. Find some space between those ears and those shoulders. Randy laughed about this the other day. Make your ears and your shoulders and ears are not friends, they're enemies. Keep them away from each other. Now, exhale, plant your hands, step back, hop back, jump back, high to low. You meet me where it feels good to you. So if you got low back stuff, you're thinking Sphinx pose, or baby cobra, or that full-on up dog. And then we're gonna meet in down dog. So now we're gonna do the same little sequence on the left side because we want our left to match our right. Because man, I hope you guys can notice my right side is like way more like, woo, loosey-goosey. Now, left foot to your hands, any way you wanna do it. Or come forward into bear crawl, lengthen that leg high to the sky. Square your hips so they match your mat. Step your hands back, come up on your tippy toes of your right. Left knee comes in and up to your chest, to your hands. That's just a little physics and how you're moving your body. I'm gonna slide back, shimmy back my right foot, drop down my right knee. Now I'm gonna use my blocks, and I'm gonna bring myself up here. So I'm gonna set that body position. So I'm gonna have a very slight angle on my left shin. I'm gonna take a deep breath, find length up my body, and then exhale and press, line up my left knee with my left heel. And then you isolate that stretch in that right hip. Whew. Now, if you want, I do this too sometimes on my left. I take my hands and I place both my hands, top of my knee, and I press and find a longer line, but I don't come here. I think about being tall. So we're gonna breathe here for a minute. And then we're gonna hinge back. And we're gonna find that same stretch in our hamstring, but on our left side. And then we're gonna move at our will. So deep breath in through your nose. Exhale. And then when I'm ready, I'm gonna hinge back my hip. My heel stays planted. And now I find that hamstring stretch. Ooh, that side is tight. My left is notoriously tighter than my right. So I'm gonna find a stretch here first and just simply breathe. And you'd be like, okay, where is the edge of my stretch? What you're not wanting to force past it, you just wanna find the edge of that stretch. Now, when you're ready, we're gonna inhale, we're gonna bring it forward, and you can go where you want. So you're finding this stretch, but you're not overarching your back, so you're not doing that and falling into joints. You're finding a stretch here, right hip, and then you come back at your own pace. And this is just where it starts to connect your body to your breath. There is no right or wrong here. This is all you. So you might have done something completely different than I did yesterday, and your body might not be like, you might be like, this is my jam. And I might be like, this is where I need to be. So it's very much about you. So you pay attention to like, whoo, that feels good, and know that I'm just as sore as all y'all. Now, I'm gonna show you this from here again. We're gonna walk our foot to the outside edge of our mat. I got too many things in my way. So, outside foot, edge of your mat. Let me go back here. And then I'm gonna come up on my back toes and shimmy back my toes quick so I have a nice deep stretch. Lower down the back knee. So I'm not pushing out the left, I'm not riding the inner arch of the left foot, and I'm not pushing my knee out yet. I'm gonna take my elbow at 90. I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna exhale. So you might notice the difference. This side I get to the floor every time, but I am not pushing my knee out to get there. So you wanna try to have a nice, like, straight up and down. There you go. Now, when I notice that I can get to the floor on this side, I tend to be a little faster on this side to be able to walk my foot in and then ride that outer arch. You don't have to even go here. This is optional. You might stay on the elbow up. You might take that block and shove it. Should be my new tagline, right there. And I might come down here. I use the block under my quad. If I have like noticing my low back is starting to go, or I'm falling into that front lumbar. That's where some issues tend to be with people. I tend to be here because I'm just short, man. Can't reach the ground. And I'm just gonna breathe for a minute. I'm gonna find a nice position. And I'm just gonna find those 3 to 5 breaths. Focus on relaxing your face, not holding tension in your neck and your shoulders. Relax those shoulders down from those ears. They are not buddies today. And then we're gonna slowly rise ourselves up. I'm gonna bring that left leg behind me. I'm gonna hip circle the left. I might hip circle the right. Now, we gotta come to 45 degrees, right? So we're gonna bring that left leg up, heel, about 45. I'm gonna look down at my right knee. If it's directly underneath me, I wanna move that out between hip and shoulder and use my back toes to stabilize. Because our stretch is gonna be in that inner left thigh. So now I have a block. Whew. This one I know is so tight. So I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna exhale, press back. So I'm pressing my right glute back towards my right heel, and I'm finding the stretch in that inner left thigh. Hello. Now this is where we notice, oh my gosh, and we hold our attention. So think about, I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna inhale, I'm gonna come out of this pose. I'm gonna exhale, I'm gonna send it back. Now I am also keeping my ribs in, so I'm not pushing my ribs to the floor. And I'm moving at my pace. And I'm thinking about my face needs to relax. We're not thinking about any stress or tension, because remember that's sitting over there in the corner where it's gonna stay. Or you can just give it all to me right now and I'll hold it all for you and then I'll give it back to you later. But right now I want you to focus on breathing and moving and feeling amazing. Now when you're ready, you'll go ahead and bring that back. You'll hip circle. Woo, that hip feels better. Ooh, I hope we notice a difference in our hips. Because this is like my magical hip sequence that works every time. So bring your hands just about half a step forward. Curl your toes. Bring those hips up and back. You can walk it out. You can lift your hands. You can press back. Check in and see how that feels. Hopefully it feels amazing. And then we're gonna bend our knees. Our gaze is gonna go forward. We're gonna step, hop, float, jump. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Ribs in, stretches in those hamstrings. Hopefully that stretch is getting harder to find. Exhale and fold. Maybe we're getting closer to the ground. Maybe we're getting close enough we can grab our calves. Or my personal fave, I like to place my hands under my feet, press down with my feet, and bring my shoulders back and down, but keep my ribs in, so then I get a deep hip stretch. Whatever your jam is, bend your knees, roll yourself all the way to standing, gentle little squeeze. Go where you want to go. Randy will appreciate this song if she can hear it. Little sis and coat, baby. You know I don't play normal yoga music. Now I just need to get him to play live in my house while we do yoga and we're all good. So go wherever you want to go, guys. Hopefully our hips feel awesome. Okay, shake it out. So I'm looking at my time. Okay, we're gonna do, let's do a high lunge because I do them different. And on a little, if you want to know, little side notes of Hollie, this is the only pose I start on my left because I'm right-handed, so I tend to do everything on my right. But I'm gonna start this one off with my left. So classically, we do this. Kills me. Oh, so we're not gonna do it that way. We're gonna look better and we're gonna feel better in this. So I'm gonna be standing tall. I'm gonna step back with my left. So what happens, so I'll show you the block. So my pelvis right now, if this was my pelvis, and we're gonna say my pelvis is a bucket. If this is my pelvis, it looks like this right now. All my water going out of my bucket, right? So how do we fix that? We bend the back knee, squeeze your glute. This quad will fire. Lift up, send the heel back, but don't touch it. And you get this deep stretch right here. If you're like, whoo, that's intense, you bend the knee, if you want to get out of it for a second, and then think about squeezing, lifting, send back. Now, if your pelvis, sometimes I'm here and I'm making sure my pelvis stays here. Sometimes I'll shimmy my toes and find a little bit deeper of a pose. Okay, but my pelvis is still in good position. I still have good posture. If I can keep my pelvis there, I might bring my arms up. I might use my arms to distract myself from the huge stretch that's going on in my left hip right now that I didn't think there was anything left to stretch. Woo! And remember, this is slightly a balance as well. Now, I'm gonna bend my back knee. I'm gonna step it forward, and I'm gonna hip circle. So the point of that is to get very isolated in a stretch with really good position versus being like that, right? You can get yourself to that, but setting yourself up to get in a really good position first. Yeah, girl. Yeah, she got that stretch. It's a little intense, isn't it? Whew, it's a little intense. Okay, so now we're gonna go other side. Woo. And I'm gonna step back with my right. So now my hips, my pelvis are all down there. So I'm gonna bend that knee, squeeze that glute. I'm gonna lift up nice and tall. I'm gonna send that heel back, but I'm not gonna let that heel touch the floor because if I let that heel touch the floor, it becomes a different pose. Whoo, intense. Do we even think we had a stretch left over there? Because man. So if I want to, my hands can stay here. My hands could be here. My hands could be here. My hands could be here. There's so many options. I just want you to rock what feels best to you. And sometimes when we do things like this, it distracts us from the huge stretch going on in that right hip. Now know that you can, at any time, bend that knee and then step it forward. Because you don't want to come out of this pose just like this and then just pop out of it. You want to think, bend that knee, break that for a minute, step it forward, hip circle. Whoo, how do our hips feel? Man, I feel good. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, we're gonna do a shoulder stretch. We're not gonna do this as a balance pose, just simply because most of us can't wrap, but we're gonna do eagle pose with our arms. Why? Because we need a shoulder stretch too, because your hips should feel awesome. So I'm gonna bring my arms up, and I'm gonna go right arm underneath left. Now, I might hook it here, I might be here, I might be here, whatever your jam is, okay? So now what I want you to see, so I see this all the time. People do this. So think shoulders back and down, hug those fingers down. So you see this position. Now I'm gonna go about hip width with my feet, with my legs, but this position right here, when I come forward, doesn't move. So I'll show you that when I back up, but when you come forward, notice this stays here. What do I see a lot? I see this. We come here and we do this. So I want you to think about keeping this position here. Now what we're gonna do is I go a little wider with my feet. I keep that arm position. This nice stretch in those shoulders. I'm gonna push that hip back and I'm gonna find a nice stretch in those hips. So I'm not worrying about balance on this. We're gonna do something else for balance. And I might come up and come down. It just kind of depends. Some people like to sit, some people like to sit in this position. I like to move. I'm a mover. I'm a mover. And then we're gonna bring the arms up, we're gonna release. And we're gonna do a little, we call these just like ding-dongs. I think it's a little ding-dongs, just relaxing our arms, letting them go wherever they want. And then we're gonna switch and go, what do I do? Right under left? Whatever side you didn't do. So left side, left under right. You might get there, you might not. Rock you, find this. So find that. Now, same thing. You're just gonna connect to your breath. Exhale into that movement. Find a nice little stretch. And I'm looking at my fingers. And I might come up and down, I might stay there. It really just, you rock you. So it's more about what feels good in your body. Some people like to move a little bit more than others. And I don't want you to deny you that aspect. So you do what feels best. And then you'll bring it up, you'll release, side to side, rock your, whatever feels good. Okay, check in with those hips. Do our hips feel good? Give me a thumbs up if your hips feel good. Yeah, girl. All right, okay, so since our hips feel good, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna do tree pose, because I can actually move my hips. Okay, one thing I wanna point out, Randy, I'll pull this back out again, because it'll be my wall. It's like my magical wall, right? Look at my magical wall. When I get mad, I can just kick it and punch it. Okay, so if you would need something to hold on to, a fingertip will do tons of things for you. If you don't need that, that's fine too. But what we're gonna do, and I'm a stickler on balance, so we'll go right foot. Now I want you to think about big toe, pinky toe, center of your heel. Ground that into the floor and then evenly put your weight over that foot. So since we're doing tree pose, find this. So I want you to think big toe, pinky toe, center of your heel, and own this first. Once you find this, because we like to rock on our feet or we go to balance poses way too fast. Once you find this, you're gonna grab your ankle. You're either gonna go inner thigh or below your knee. If you go inner thigh, I place that left foot in my inner thigh. I'm squeezing my right glute. I'm pressing my left foot into my inner thigh and trying to lock out my right leg. So I'm nice and tall. Squeeze the glute, it helps. Then you can go wherever you want. Ooh, Randy, you got there, girl, yeah. I'll tell you, you're almost there, girl. Yeah. So we can be above the knee. We can be below the knee. Or we can be kickstand, okay? Or you can be right here. So I'm pressing this foot into this leg and I'm squeezing this glute. Yes. Nice, ladies. And your tree can move. Trees move all the time. All the time, right? There's wind. There might be a little wind in your place. And that's okay. Woo, you feel that glute yet? Woo, when you're ready, you're gonna release. You're gonna shake that leg out. Oh, sometimes I gotta hit that because I'm like, oh man. Woo. If you rock a really awesome tree pose, right? And you want to challenge yourself and you have like a pad like this. Yep, you want to challenge your ankle stability and get stronger. This becomes a lot harder. I'll do this on my left side. So I'll show you on my left side because my left side, like when I'm here, I can rock this pose, right? Bam. And I'll get you there. But when we go here, it becomes harder. So I'll walk you through it and then I'll show you how to do it on this. So big toe, pinky toe, center of your heel on your left foot. Find the even balance between your whole foot. And then bring that leg up to here first. Squeeze your glute of your left. When you're ready, you grab that ankle. You either bring it in and press that right foot against that left inner thigh and squeeze that left glute like nobody's business. Be here, or you be below that knee. Trying to keep those hips open. Be where you want to be. Now, I'll show you how this is harder. Challenging. Let's use the word challenging. That's better. So, this will make it, I cannot get into this one as fast, and I usually can't talk, so I'm gonna be quiet for a minute. because it's about finding your breathing whenever you're ready to come out of that pose. So this will challenge your ankle because it's harder to find. And this challenges your ankle and strengthens your ankle. Whew, but I can't hold it as long. So goal is to, when you are in this pose, to try to come out of this pose the exact same way that you came into it. Which means you come here, you come here, you come here. Ooh, ooh, that leg's fired up now, fired up. So, and you can always use your wall, right? If you don't have a punching bag, you just use a wall. I have a punching bag. I have to. Kids, man, kids get angry. Like, go punch stuff on that. Okay, let's bring our arms all the way up. Nice big stretch. Exhale, fold. Bend and move, check in. See how your body feels. See how those hips feel. We're gonna do a pigeon pose, and then we're going into Shavasana. Ooh, my hips feel amazing. Ground into your knee, your feet, not your knees. Roll yourself all the way to standing. And then make sure you're at the top of your mat. Exhale, we're gonna fold back down. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up, ribs in and up, shoulders back and down, stretches down those hamstrings. Hopefully you can't feel that as much. And then plant your hands down, step back, hop back, jump back, high to low. Find your up dog, your cobra, whatever feels good. Meet me in down dog. Now we're not gonna do anything crazy fancy. We're just gonna come to pigeon. If you need to do pigeon on your back, you certainly can. I'm gonna bring my right knee towards my right wrist. And I'm gonna slide back my left. Now, I want you to look at your right foot. If it's flexed up towards you, I want you to almost like point your toe like it's a high heel, but not like activating everything. I just want a nice line all the way up your shin. Now, I like to sometimes come on my fingertips and lengthen up. And then I might walk it all the way down. I might go one side. I might walk to the other. I might not do any of that. I might just come down here and chill. Or I might use a block on my head. I want you to try to relax those shoulders so you're not using those elbows to keep you up, right? I want you to shimmy back, find length through your left leg. I want you to take a deep breath into your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And just take a few moments to just simply relax, breathe, find that stretch. And notice your breath from the very beginning of class to right now. Hopefully it's more relaxed. Easier to breathe into your belly. If your mind starts wandering to things that are stressing you on your mind, things you have to do, just shoot them through those awesome internet waves and send them to me. I will hold them for you. Right now, we just want to focus on our breath, our body, and relaxing our mind as much as we've been relaxing our body and moving our body. Just let yourself simply breathe. If it's hard to kind of pull yourself away from your thoughts, think about just counting your breath. I like to sometimes say to myself, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And just saying that to myself allows me to stop thinking about the dog or the kids or all the things that are going on in our world. Because our world is heavy right now. I've been taking on a lot of our world. So using yoga to allow yourself to let go of some of those things, it's okay. You don't have to hold those things inside of you all the time. Sometimes we need a little bit of a break. Now on your next exhale, you're gonna rise yourself up. We're gonna curl that back toe. We're gonna find our down dog. And then we're gonna switch sides. So we're just gonna bring that left knee to our left wrist, slide back my right. Find a nice position. Maybe I come on fingertips and then lengthen up. And then maybe I walk side to side. Maybe I just come all the way down and really relax. So even if your thoughts wander, that's okay. When you notice that your thoughts are wandering, or you notice that you're going down that little rabbit hole, all you got to do is just think breathing in, breathing out. And then suddenly you're back on the pace of relaxing your body, relaxing your mind, relaxing your soul. Find those 10 breaths again. And once you've found your 10 breaths, I know you're not there yet, shouldn't be. You can come out of this pose, you can find a down dog and then find a child's pose. But take it at your pace. Whenever you find those 10 breaths, you'll find that down dog for a sec. And then you'll bring your knees down and just find a quick child's pose. Check in with your breath. Nice. Just take a moment to find a down dog or find a child's. Check into your hips. Maybe your hands come wide. And then we're going to rise ourselves up. We're going to sit back on our heels for a minute. Oh, it's the best part of yoga right now. Okay, so Shavasana. You can prop yourself up any way you want. You can have blanks or blankets, bolsters, blocks, any of the things. What the only thing I ask, don't be confined to your rectangle. Take up as much space as you want, right? Because you deserve it. You deserve it. So find a space, because I'm going to walk you through a little Shavasana to allow yourself to just really bring your whole practice together. So all this is about is just breathing. I want you to breathe. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to be in the most comfortable space for you. And that might look different, and that's totally, totally rocking. So start to settle into the earth, settle into your mat. Give yourself this time to just simply relax, release, and seal in your practice. So start to relax your feet, your toes, even the soles of your feet. Relax and release your ankles, the front, back, sides of your shins. Even let your kneecaps just sink down a little deeper to your mat. Really letting the weight of your legs and your feet start to settle against the back of your body. Release your thigh bones into the back of your legs. And allow your legs and your feet to be fully supported by the earth that's underneath you. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out to your mouth. Release that tension, that tightness that we hold in our pelvis, and notice how much more open, relaxed, and released our hips, low back. Notice the rise and fall of your breath. Relax the front, back, sides of your ribs. And soften your skin over your heart. Allow yourself to break down some of those walls that we like to build up to protect ourselves. But notice all the love that you have inside of you and all around you. Release your hands. Relax your fingers. Allow your fingertips to naturally just curl towards the palms. Settle into your forearms, elbows, upper arms. Soften your shoulders down from your ears. Release your jaw. Relax your throat. Allow your tongue to rest naturally on the roof of your mouth. And let those little lines we get in our forehead, let those lines relax. Let all the thoughts, the worries, the fears, the to-dos, all the things that we like to keep up in there, let all of those things go. Allow your mind to relax as much as you are allowing your body to. And feel the weight of your body settling in to the back of your body. And feel your body expand. Feel the front and the sides of your body expanding into the air around you. And allow yourself to take up space. Enjoy that spaciousness that you created. Inside and all around you. And feel that connection you have to yourself, to the earth, and to other people. So breathe in, love for yourself, and breathe out, love and kindness for others. So take a deep breath all the way down into the belly. And just let everything go. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. With your eyes closed, when you're ready, you can turn to your right or your left side. You can take a moment in the fetal position, just finding your breath, finding your way back to our present world. And then using the arm you're not using as a pillow, use it to push yourself all the way back up to a seated position. And then we're going to bring our hands to heart center. So much fun. I love yoga. I gotta thank Randy for really pushing me to do it. So thank you, girl. So as I end every class, the light and teacher in me honors the light and teacher in each and every one of you. Namaste. And I hope you have an absolutely beautiful day.